G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well. Got another cocktail for you right now. Today, a little bit special, we're gonna have us a threesome. Well, that's what the cocktail's called. Although in terms of ingredients, it's actually a foursome. But it's a threesome of booze with some juice to balance things out. I am continuing on my theme of doing orange liqueurs. So if you have a request, just ask me. A friend said, can you help me use up my Cointreau? And I said, yeah, I'll look up a couple of interesting orange liqueur recipes for you. And so yeah, ask and ye may well receive, as the saying goes. What I've tried to do is to do a different base spirit in each of these cocktails this week. Started off with a whiskey base. Second one was just a bit of everything. This one is based on apple brandy. So depending what you have, if you have the Calvados, which is like the French apple brandy, Applejack, an American apple brandy, and there's bound to be varieties of this around the world. So while I'm going to be using Applejack, feel free, if you have a different apple brandy, to substitute that in, because as I always say, it's more important that you make a drink that you like than you rigidly follow a recipe. When you find a recipe that someone's worked on and has found a balance in, that's usually a good sign of what works. But it's always fun to have a little bit of experimentation and think of what could I substitute, what could I change. Because even it's as simple as if a recipe says put gin in. There are thousands of gins around the world and each is going to make the drink a little bit different. So with that in mind, I always feel don't be too shy about swapping things out. Having said that, I'm going to get started now. Let's have a threesome. As I said, the apple brandy is front and center. I'm using Laird's Applejack. I did look up the difference. The primary difference between most French Calvados and American Applejack, the French tend to use apples that are more tart, and the Americans tend to use apples that are sweeter. So there's that difference in the profile of the brandies, but you will find around the world slightly different apple brandies. I'm using Laird's Applejack, and we are going to add 45 mils, 1.5 ounces of apple brandy. Next up, my feature this week, the orange liqueur. I am, as in previous videos, using Marionette dry Curacao, but use what you have, whether it be a Curacao, triple sec, Cointreau, Grand Marnier, whatever you happen to have on hand. And I'm using 1 ounce or 30 mils of the orange liqueur in this drink. Now the recipe I found said to use 15 mils, half an ounce of Perno Anise. I actually don't have any Perno in my collection. I do have some absinthe, and it's quite a strong one. It's 80% alcohol. And of course there are a lot of different anise or aniseed liqueurs around the world, spirits and liqueurs, and you may well substitute with something you have if you don't have the Perno or absinthe. I'm also going to dial it back a bit, and you might take into account with how strong what you have at home is, because this is pretty strong. Rather than the 15 mils, just a little bit back, I'm going to do 10 mils of absinthe in this particular concoction. The final ingredient is 45 mils, 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice, freshly squeezed some time ago by the good people at Dole, but this is no additive pineapple juice, so I'm okay with using this. Fresh pineapple juice is quite honestly a real pain. I don't have a blender or juicer that I could put a pineapple through, so I'm going to slum it a bit with a canned pineapple juice, because that's what I have. So here we go with 1.5 ounces, 45 mils of pineapple juice. I've added the ice to our shaker. Now it's time, give it a good shake, 10 or 15 seconds to get it good and chilled. Now I'm going to strain that into a coupe glass I've had chilling in the freezer. Now, mine is a rather charming green colour. Yours will be a different colour depending on what you use as the anise element in here. But yeah, my blue absinthe has made really, honestly, quite delightfully green drink. So I smell, yeah, even though I dialed back the absinthe, I am picking up that strong licorice aniseed smell when I give it a ping. But now for the all-important taste test. Ooh, that's good. I am really glad I dialed back the absinthe because it's not dominating, but it's really there. There's that anise undercurrent going through this. This is really quite pleasant. If you're not into anise or aniseed drinks, you're a bit cautious, like I said, you can just dial back the amount that you put in. I mean, yes, use recipes made by people with more experience than you and I. In my case, I found this on the Difford's Guide website, where I get a lot of recipes, and Simon Difford, very experienced gentleman. But use it as a guideline. It's more important that you like the taste of the drink than it is that you religiously follow a recipe that you found. But this is really good. Ooh, yeah, I'm really liking this one, actually. Yes, I've been trying really hard to avoid threesome innuendos, but yeah, this is a threesome I'd enjoy on the weekend, quite honestly. This is very nice. I definitely recommend this one. And yeah, if you've been wondering if you should buy some absinthe or another anise, what will I do with it? This is one I'd recommend you try for a start. Yeah, the threesome is a very nice drop. And I'd be interested to hear if you've tried something similar, if you've been holding off on getting something like absinthe or Perno because it's such a strong taste. You just have to look around, get the right recipe, and I think you'll find something that suits. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope to see you again soon. If you're not already subscribed, it'd be great if you subscribe. Hit the little notification bell so you know when I upload a video. Tell your friends, they should be here too. And like I said, because I've been doing these orange liqueur recipes by request, if there's anything you're interested in seeing in a cocktail, let me know. I'm always open to ideas because there's a lot to explore in the world of cocktails, and it'd be great if you're along for it. I hope to see you again soon. Take care of yourself in the meantime. I'll leave you now with cheers.